Hello, friends. Back here with Eric to do another Reddit personal finance story. Today we are headed to the money advice subreddit. This is a shorter one, but I think it has an interesting potential set of answers. So this comes from user Veebs1. The title is Inheriting 25K. Hey all, I'm inheriting 20K. First, I'm going to pay off my credit card debt, 8K. That is my only debt. I rent a house with my girlfriend. I do not own a car, use a company vehicle, and all my bills add up to about $1,500 a month, including rent. I work full time and have about 3K in savings. I've read opening up a Roth IRA is great. Just wanted to see if anyone had any advice. Thanks. So, Veebs, I do have some thoughts and ideas for you. First off, say you want to pay off your credit card debt first thing. That is a great decision. Now, inheriting 25K, depending on where you are in life, that's not going to be life-changing money, but it can definitely create stability and give you a good foundation moving forward. So paying off that credit card debt means you won't have to pay any more interest on credit cards, assuming that's about 25%. That's about $2,000 a year you're going to save right there. But remember to change your financial habits to not get into more credit card debt, or you're just going to be right back where you started with 8K or even more. Pay off the credit cards, but stop using them unless you can pay them off in full every month by the due date. That's what I do with my credit cards, so I can get my rewards and cash back and miles and points and all that. But I never pay interest. I've never paid interest on any of my personal credit cards. Not something I ever planned to do. It's just a cost that we don't ever need. It says that's your only debt. So awesome. You take 25,000, subtract 8,000, you have a good chunk of change left. It looks like you have a job that covers your car and your bills are $1,500 a month, which is not too bad. Good job there. You work full time and have about 3,000 in savings. So 3,000 in savings is about 2 months of expenses. I think for most people, having at least 3 months of expenses in savings is the best route forward for emergencies. So that would be $4,500 in your case. But depending on the stability of your job, you might want to bump that up and make it even higher. So for me, I'd want to target about 6 months of expenses in a savings account because I'm self-employed and my income's variable. So depending on how stable your income is, you might want to save even more. I'd put that in a high yield savings account. There's a bunch of really good ones online. I have mine at SoFi, but there's plenty of other choices too. That's just the one that worked best for me. Next, it says you were thinking about opening a Roth IRA. That is an excellent idea. Depending on your income, there's an adjustable limit on how much you can put in per year. But I imagine with $25,000 inheritance after hitting your savings goal and paying off the credit card, you'll still have plenty of cash left over to max out your Roth IRA. If you're doing it before you file taxes, you can actually max out last year's Roth IRA and this year's, which will probably take up a good portion of the remainder of that inheritance. But you're putting yourself on track for an excellent financial future if you can get into that habit and fund your Roth IRA every year. If you're new to Roth IRAs, the contributions you make are pre-tax, so you don't get any tax benefits the year of your contribution, but your investments can grow and future withdrawals are, as long as they're qualified during retirement, or there's a couple other opportunities, but generally during retirement, you can withdraw completely tax-free. And if you're a younger person, which it looks like here based on the context of what you're writing, you'll have decades for those investments to grow and turn into something that's a big chunk of your future nest egg for retirement. So good job. When you get that Roth IRA, remember you should invest it in something. If you have no investment knowledge, I'd look at maybe a robo-advisor. Charles Schwab has a free robo-advisor. I've used it. I think it's fine. Or you could look at a target date fund. Depending on your favorite brokerage, Fidelity has some good target date funds. And you can also, with almost any brokerage, trade for free. There's a new set of target date funds from BlackRock. So a target date fund is a mutual fund or index fund that's a set of multiple index funds managed for someone your age. So the risk level adjusts over time as you get closer and closer to retirement. If you know zero about investing, either of those is probably a safe bet. Some people don't like target date funds because of the fees, but when you look at the modern ones, especially those ones I mentioned from BlackRock, iShares, the costs are pretty darn low considering what you get. So that's what I would do. And then if you have anything left over, you can open up a taxable investment account. There's not tax benefits, but it helps you save and invest for the future. You could pad your high yield savings a little more, maybe take that girlfriend out to dinner, but don't go over budget. So that's what I would do. I think you're in a good situation. It sounds like financially, good head on your shoulders, and good idea to ask what to do with that inheritance. Now, before we go, I wanted to read the response from another user, Handyman Pat. I actually already read through this, and I mostly agree, but not 100%. So Handyman Pat says, you have a 2 months emergency fund and 5x your monthly living expenses in credit card debt. A Roth IRA is not something I would recommend based on your current financial position. As we just discussed, I disagree there. I think a Roth IRA would be a great decision, but you have to remember, we talked before that about getting out of credit card debt habits. First, it's important to understand whether any of the 25K inheritance is taxable. It probably isn't if it's an inheritance. If so, you need to set aside an appropriate amount to cover this before any other spending or allocation. And that's true, I would figure that out, but probably not taxable when you're inheriting $25,000. Next, pay off the $8,000 in credit card debt. You need to work really hard to not lapse back into credit card debt again. So get some help budgeting. Plenty of online resources to help with this. I agree with that. Pay off that debt. Don't get back into the habits. Next, spend a small portion on something special in remembrance of the person that passed away. Maybe a nice dinner or local trip. I don't think you have to do that, but if you want to, I guess that's fine. Like I said, maybe take your girlfriend to dinner. Thank that relative or whoever left you the money when you're out to eat. Finally, the remainder should be placed in a HYSA, that's a high yield savings account, with the existing $3,000 to provide for a larger emergency fund. And that I agree as well. You want to set a new target for your emergency fund and get that saved up. So Handyman Pat and I, we mostly agree. I do think the Roth IRA is a good idea though, so we disagree on that. But overall, that's some good advice. So that's all I have for today. So you can see by my hat, I love finance, and I'd love to have you along on this journey as we investigate and search through many people's financial questions and whatnot online. This is the third video on this series. It's actually my birthday today. Happy birthday to me. I'd love for you, as a birthday present to me, hit that subscribe button. As the young YouTubers these days say, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Make sure you hit both of those. Also, drop a comment if you agree with me or disagree with me. Let me know what you think. And we will be back later this week for the next one. Thanks, everyone. And until next time, stay profitable.